Truth and Uncut. I'm coming to you today just to motivate you on today, to influence you not to quit. Let me tell you, even though it may be hard, even though it may seem as if nothing is happening, even though it may seem that things have not picked up for you in these last 6 months to 7 months, let me say to you, keep holding on. The best is yet to come. I'm telling you, continue to persevere. And out of all you're getting, get an understanding in this hour and in this season of your life of where you are, because there is greatness down on the inside of you that someone needs. And I'm just telling you, I'm motivating you while I motivate me. Why? Because I know the enemy. He wanted me to quit. He wanted me to throw in the towel. He wanted me to give up. But God sent assurance. And I'm just here to tell you, when God sent assurance, you know that you heard God, but then there's a roadblock. There's things hindering you from moving forward. I'm telling you, my friend, we have to continue to persevere. We have to push. We have to pray until something happens. We have to persevere until something happens. We can't give up because somebody needs us. Yeah, it gets a little hard sometimes. And we know that, at times, we want to see a breakthrough when it's been long suffering, such a long time, and we have suffered, and we want to see that moment and that time where we begin to reign with God, because we have suffered with God. So we know that all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord, who were called according to his purpose and his plan. So we need to just continue to stay focused and stay on track, stay the course. If you got to walk alone right now, begin to stay faithful in that. Continue to strive for perfection. Continue to make things happen that's within your reach. Continue to allow God to show you, lead God, and direct you in the way that you should go. Allow Him time to speak. Begin to get before Him and begin to just be still and know that He is God, even if He don't speak. Begin to know that He got you, even when it don't look like it, even when it don't feel like it, when you can't see, touch, taste, or smell the presence of the sweet smelling aroma of the Lord in your atmosphere and environment. Begin to continue to hold on. Don't give up. You're just on the brink of your breakthrough. And I'm going to encourage you while I encourage me. Let me just say, we have to keep pressing in this hour. We have to begin to separate ourselves from those people, places, and things that are not mutually beneficial. We must begin to separate ourselves from people, places, and things that are not fruitful. We sometimes can have the wrong midwives on our team. Sometimes we have that wrong push. Sometimes we have the wrong people in our ears. Sometimes we can have that wrong everything, until we just need to separate and push back from everything and everybody and have an ear to hear what the Spirit of the Lord is saying unto us. And we just must pray and praise our way through where we are in this time and in this season. If God is not giving you profound instructions to move, then my thing to you, just be still and know that He is God. Never have we seen the righteous forsaken, nor seen begging bread. Yes, it does get hard sometimes. Yes, in the waiting process, it does get hard. We don't want to wait. We want to see things happen, but we are not a microwave generation. We are not that quick fix type of generation. We got to go through some things in order to bring somebody out, because these demons that have been released upon this earth, baby, I'm here to tell you today that we got to be endowed with power. We can't come playing. We can't come lacking and slacking, thinking that we fixing to take on the challenge of this, that, and the other when it comes down to the spiritual things. No, baby, you better be equipped, you better be qualified, and you better be well prepared, because if you not, the enemy gonna show you what he working with. Now, I'm not giving him no credit, and I'm not giving him no more power and authority than God. But I am just saying that he is all powerful, he is all knowing. And let me tell you, he's cunning and crafty in his way. This is why we have to be on our A game with the enemy. This is why we have to begin to re-strategize, with him, because he come in all shapes, forms, and fashions and styles. It does not matter who it is, as long as he got a willing vessel, baby, he coming. And you better be, you better be ready for when he come, because he can come through a family member, he can come through a friend, he can come through associate, he can come through a minister, he can come through whoever is yielding and willing to yield to him their body. That's all he needs. And if he began to do just that, just know that he got you. But he can't have no more power than we give him. He can't have no more control than we give him. We got to take back our authority. We got to take back our power. We got to take back our rank. Come on, here in this hour. You got to begin to work with something in this hour and in this season. I'm talking about you got to begin to get in the word of God like never before. You got to continue to stay prayed up, because, baby, the devil is not playing with some of these people. Let me tell you the things that I've seen within the last week or 2 weeks. I began to go somewhere on last week, and when I began to go, I just seen a lot of homeless people walking around like zombies, and I was like, Lord, what is this that I am seeing? I could not believe it, what I was seeing. It looked and reminded me of the video Thriller from Michael Jackson, when the zombies start popping up and coming from everywhere. Let me tell you, people of God, that's how the people are in bondage. We don't have time to be fighting over titles, platforms, positions, callings. We just need to make our election sure in this hour and in this season, and know that we know without a shadow of a doubt that we heard God, and we cannot give up. We must continue to hold on until God's unchanging hand. We must know that we heard him. Let me just say this. I'm going to give you an example. I know that I heard God give me the instructions on where to do, what to do and where to go. And I know I heard him when he spoke to me with just as clear, told me to go back again. Sometimes we don't want to go back again to a place where God has a need of us. Sometimes we want to continue to go where we want to go. But when God speaks to you more than 3 times, let me say to you, you best to get to moving. If he spoke to you in his word, if he spoke to you by way of a video, if he spoke to you by way of a prophet, if he spoke to you just in the small still voice, let me tell you, you better obey God, because your life depends on it in this hour and in this season. Let me just say to you on today that, when we hear his voice, we need to move, because God's timing is everything. Because if we miss his timing, we will begin to miss our turn for what he has for us. Then we have to pray and see if he gonna bring it back around again, and then we got to wait on him to come back around again when he get ready. It's just, that we need to move when the grace of God tells us to move, and when he give us, that which we need to move. Let me just say that we got to begin to obey God like never before. We got to hear him loud and clear. We got to know what ranking we are ranking in the realm of the spirit. It's time for us to know. I jumped off course, but let me go back to the example of what God told me to do. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me just say, he began to speak to me some time ago and told me to go back to this individual once again. And I was, wrestling with it. I know it was God. And so I let 3 weeks pass by. So within that fourth week, I heard him again say, go back again. And I did go back again. And because I was afraid of being rejected, so I didn't want to go back, and I didn't want to have to wrestle with what I was dealing with before when I walked away, when I backed up from the situation and the circumstances. But I'm knowing God is showing me that, the coast was clear, everything was clear. But I just chose not to move because I didn't want the enemy to stick his head up once again. But let me tell you, he did just that. The enemy stuck his head up in this area again. That same test came back around again to me. And I didn't want to go back, but I finally went back to the individual and I began to give, to say thus and so to them, and I began to speak and give what God gave me to speak. So God began to speak, and he, gave me the advance and gave him, the individual that he had sent me back to. He gave the response to what I was saying and during the time of the conversation. But to make a long story short, here, let me just say to you, when God gives you the timing to move and the grace to move on a certain thing, begin to move. Don't procrastinate. Don't be slowful. Don't be lazy about it. Don't wrestle with it. Just begin to move, because God is opening doors that no man can shut. And let me tell you, the enemy began to rear his head up when I started to do what God said do. Then the enemy came in that second week, doing what he was doing before in this matter. And I said, okay, God, I'm done right now with all of this. I am completely done. I am not fixing to deal with this. I say, you know what? I'm done with ministry. I'm backing up. I'm not fixing to launch no ministry. I'm not finna do the individual ministry. I'm not finna do nothing pertaining to ministry. And I began to back up. But on that third day, God sent the man of God to me once again. And the conversation carried on between he and I. And everything was spoken, and I knew it was God sending him because of what I had spoken, because I had given up and I had just said, I'm going to do what I need to do. I wasn't finna backslide and go to the world, but I was going to keep serving God. I was going to keep praying, but I wasn't finna be praying for nobody. I wasn't be fixing to be prophesying to nobody. I wasn't fixing to be doing nothing concerning and pertaining to ministry, because I was so done. Because I knew I had heard God. But God had to send this man of God to me to let me know that I can't quit. He had to send him to let me know that even though I wanted to quit, I still couldn't quit. And that I had to come on with the come on. So with that being said on today, let me just say to you on today, begin to move out of your own way and allow God to be God. In everything in this hour and in this season of your life, don't give up, don't give out, and don't give in. Don't allow that enemy to win. Just keep persevering. You got this, because you were built to last. Let me just say to you, pick back up the instructions. Put them back on the altar and begin to go to God again. And just begin to say, Lord, here am I. What do you want me to do with this? Do you want me to begin again to where I left off when I put the torch down? Do you want me to begin again at wherever he had you at? Baby, don't give up. Keep on fighting in this battle, because it's a fixed fight and you've already won. You just have to see the manifestation of where you are. Don't give up, don't give out, and don't give in. You got this. Why? Because you were built to last, and the power to perform is within you. You got this. No matter how weary you are, no matter what we don't have, begin to do X, Y, and Z right where you are. Make it count on today. It's been yours truly, Raw Truth and Uncut.